Alright, let's try this again. So we know to use the gun with blanks, and we know to use the bell. And then obviously we can't hear shit, and then she shakes it, which nothing happens. That's fine. And this time, because we still can't hear, we're gonna shoot him and use the bell. Oh, and the bell makes him reappear as a real thing so we can hurt him. Gotcha. Alright, so he's getting a little closer. So we can't use the rusted sword, so we gotta use this and this. We hit him. The spirit fades, and then we use the bell to bring him back. And then, yeah. And then, okay, I'm getting it. So now I gotta use and then use the bell again, I think. Oh, the spirit, yeah, right, and then we use the bell. I guess the attack finally worked. Out of nowhere, footsteps approach behind me. Oh, here we go. Is that the hurt doctor by me? I hear coughing, and whoever it is puts their hand on my back. Daimon? Is that you? What are you doing? Instead of replying, he just shoves something into my hand. It's a large chisel with a grip stain, and where did you get that? This is... I found it in that room in the mansion. In that instant, I understand everything. The heart of the curse that we were searching for. The object that gave birth to the spirit. So it was kept in the Kujo mansion? Thanks, I'm going to use it. Nope, I grab the chisel and face the spirit again. Now we go for it. Now, okay, so we use the dollar chisel. And I think we gotta use the bell again. Because that's what keeps him here. Right? Where should I strike? I guess the right... Didn't it say something about a right ear? It said something about some ears, didn't it? Fuck it, I'm going for the right ear. God, I hope Haru doesn't die. I jabbed the chisel at its right ear. It stares at me, dispassionately. That's not a good ending. Finally, it smiles. I just understood why I remembered why I wanted to go to the right ear. It's because when we were on that flashback with the woman's head, the right ear of the right ear of me, it would whisper terrible things in her ear, like kill them all, destroy, get angry, revenge. And so when I jabbed it, I deafened her on the right ear, and then so all she did, she doesn't hear the voice no more, and that's why she's happy. I hope. Finally, it smiles and disappears. I remember something about ears, though. I just didn't really remember what until after I killed it. The statue stops moving and collapses. It stopped, right?
Looks like it. My mark's finished, so it must be over.
Oh. Aww. I really honestly thought that was my spirit. Fuck. I forget what voice I gave him.
I'm grateful that I made it in time.
I think that's pretty close.
That was a close call.
Thanks for saving us, but you know that was pretty reckless. I thought it said it's dangerous for a group of I said it's dangerous for a group of mark bearers to go somewhere haunted.
Yes, but this seemed important, and it saved our lives in the end.
Tell us, Dr. Daimon, what happened at the mansion?
To be honest, it's hard for me to logically explain it, but I'll tell you what happened. After you left, I chose to do my own investigation of the mansion. When I passed a certain room, my mark started hurting suddenly. I went inside to look around and found a desk with chisels on it.
Oh, he must be in that room I found.
My head was in a haze because of the mark at the time, but it seemed to me that one chisel was engulfed in a black light. I realize now that I must have had a spiritual encounter.
But what made you decide that you had to bring the chisel here? You seemed sure it would be effective against the cannon soldier.
I'm not sure myself. I picked it up and heard a voice. The rest, well, instinct.
It was what Banshee mentioned earlier. The heart of the curse that created the spirit.
So I knew I had to give it to you.
When I looked through that room before, Yusoka said that the Kujo family used to create Buddha statues a long time ago. It's possible that the chisel used to create the statue that became the cannon soldier. I don't know what that voice was that he heard. Probably something like the mysterious voice that's guided me before. You know, to be fair, I haven't heard it in a while. Anyway.
That's all I can tell you. Now then, H-Vatic, should we go back to the mansion? We need to update Banshee on all that's happened. I didn't bother telling him anything.
Yeah. Searching for documents on the mark, carting all the statues out. It'll take more than a day to do all that. We should go back to the mansion and figure out what to do next. What? We're leaving already? I wanted to examine this place. I glanced at the statue falling to the floor. Sorry, but you'll have to do that another time. Thank you. I was about to say, Hyru, please, just for once, can you cooperate? Fine. In exchange, not one word about this shelter to anyone else. Deal. I'm going to study every inch of it. Yeah, whatever.
Damn, you almost died here. I know the danger's past, but you've gotten over this way too quickly. I'm impressed with your nerves of steel. Or is it more willpower?
You can say that again. Definitely ain't nerves of steel, bro. That's for damn sure. We return to the concrete passageway. I might be imagining it, but it feels like the air in here is a little less stagnant than it was before. We climb up out of the manhole and Mnu South Alley. Oh no! Now I gotta do his voice. His ever-present smell wafts off him.
I figured I found you here. You gave me a shock dashing out the mansion like that, Diamond. Well, the next thing I knew, my mark was gone. What the fuck happened?
Why does y'all have sound of a country accent? That's a great question.
I just needed to deliver something.
You really saved us. I'd rather not think of the consequences if you hadn't made it in time.
I don't get it, but it sounds like you did good work, Diamond.
What the fuck is happening with my voice? Well then, if I must do my investigation another day, are we splitting ways here? Our marks are gone now.
H-Vatic still has his though.
But I've had mine this whole game. But nothing changes. This always happens. I'm used to it. I'm used to it. Said I'm used it, but they meant to it. But now I might be able to change that. I finally discovered where the statues stolen from H Shrine are.
I'm lost, but good for you.
It's thanks to all of you, really. I'll figure out the rest by myself. You should all return to your regular lives.
You're saying we should split up then?
Are you sure you'll be okay? Bruh, I'll be fine. There might be 10 chapters of the bitch, I don't know. Something will work out eventually. Besides, this is Sayakujo's dying wish. I want to respect it. Huh. Well, thanks. I'll head back then. I've been missing all those chemical smells from the lab. What? Good to hear your research is exciting. But don't forsake your humanity over it and end up like Miss Zoo, yeah? Like I do that! It's not even funny, by the way! Oh yeah, Mr. H-Vatic. Whenever you want to get those statues, I'll help out. Until then, see ya.
I'll be off as well. Honestly, all this has put a strain on me. I'm barely staying up late.
Whatever you do, don't collapse on your way home. Please. Hey, H. Raddick. One day, I'm hoping to let the public know about the underground shelter, for the sake of the wandering souls without a proper burial. I'd like it if you helped with it. See you around. Maybe.
Guess I'll go too.
You're not returning to the shelter, are you?
Well, I'm not that brave. The soldier's gone, but there's plenty other things down there. I'll give it a few days to settle.
So you're still planning on going back? I'm not sure I'd call that a smart move, my guy.
Comes with living like this kind of lifestyle. I'll bunker down in the park or under a bridge until things calm down. See you, H. Raddick. Bring more food next time, yeah?
And once again, I'm all alone. I should probably head to the mansion myself. I forgot to decide what to do next. Well, when I get back, I hear, Jesus, I hear a voice calling. That's Banshee. I hear a voice calling out from behind me. I turn to see Banshee in the middle of the road, staring intently at me. What's wrong?
I remember now.
His eyes are as wide as saucers.
I forgot because of the mark, but I've met you before.
What? What do you mean?
Let me think.
He scratches his chin. I know his memories are probably all a mess, having just gotten them back. But I don't have time to wait.
Ah, yes. We first met 5 years ago. And then again 10 days ago.
I feel like I've been struck by lightning. I first arrived at the Cujo Mansion 10 days ago. That means I met him before I lost my memories. I need to know, who in the fuck am I?
I couldn't say. I wasn't interested in asking your name, and you didn't give it.
Then tell me, what do you know? Tell me about myself, please.
Okay. I owe you for the food, so ask.
What should I ask? 10 days ago.
I just seen the Cannon Soldier, and you can bet I booked it out of the manhole. I ran into you on the street. Had you treat me to food to celebrate. Thanks for that, by the way.
Banshee's talking about the person I was before I lost my memories. It's weird to hear about myself this way. You'd mentioned that you'd been overseas.
You'd mentioned you'd been overseas. You'd only come back recently, about a month ago. Oh, and that's when I learned of the mark. You told me about it. It slipped my mind until just now.
By that time, was my right arm...
Yeah, it had the mark. You were acting all odd, though. You'd go to remember something, then stumble over the words.
The curse was probably in the late stages. In fact, I had completely forgotten my name in the past few hours after that.
By the by, I got something to tell you. This here Banshee Ito is a much noble character than your regular folk. That's why I lead a detached life, away from the world's vulgarities.
What are you trying to say right now?
I could be crazy desperate, but I'd never shame my dear departed mom or divine providence. You understand?
No, I'm lost.
I'm saying I never resort to stealing, even dying of hunger. Here, these are yours.
He pulls out a wristwatch and a wallet. Each looks like an antique. They're inlaid with subtle designs.
You forgot them at the restaurant.
Let me see them. I grabbed them both and rushed to open the wallet. But there's no ID. Fuck! There was no driver's license or company card with an ID in it when you got it.
Don't ask me. You said you forgot your old wallet somewhere and lost it. It was probably in there.
Fuck. Oh. I look at what else is in the wallet. Bills, coins, and a number of familiar business cards. Saya Cujo, spirit healer.
Ah, those things. You tried to give me one of them. Told me to go there if I remembered anything. But I gave it back. I don't make a habit of carrying useless stuff.
Saya Cujo's card was in my pocket when I first arrived at the Cujo Mansion. It must have been the one Banshee returned. There's no doubt about it. I lost all my memories after I met Banshee. Next is 5 years ago.
You showed up at the shelter. Wanted to know about the Heavenly Buddha project. Gave me food. Huh. Actually, you were more focused on the Cujo family than the Cannon Soldier.
Why did we talk about them?
The head of the town was majorly involved in the project. He was famous for his spiritual power, so the army asked him to help. He loaned them a number of his family's prized sacred treasures. You really zeroed in on that bit.
Do you know what exactly the army got?
Yeah, the shelter had a list. A mirror, a chisel, a Buddha statues, cursed objects and holy talismans. They were all returned to the family.
Which means they're all in the mansion now.
You kept popping up by a few times until one day you just didn't. I only saw you next 10 days ago.
I asked everything I wanted to know, but something's still bugging me. Did I say anything about the mark when you saw me 10 days ago?
Well, I was so focused on eating that I wasn't really paying attention.
Are you fucking kidding?
Oh yeah, you said the same thing as Haru said about the Cannon Soldier. There's no way a human head on a statue will make it move.
But it did actually move.
That's what I thought too. And then you said something strange. You said what happened 50 years ago wasn't because of the project. It was all because of her.
Who's her? Her?
That's not all. You said she gave you the mark.
Who's she?
That she loved watching you lose your memories and fear death. You made her kick the bucket once, but she came back to life. You said you needed to do the same thing done 50 years ago to get rid of her.
My heart wants to beat out of my chest. I can feel sweat running down my face. There's no way I can keep calm. Before I lost my memories, I'd known who cursed me with the mark. Hey, old man! Who's she? Did I tell you?
I wanted to know, so I asked. But you couldn't answer me. I don't think you were trying to hide it. You just honestly didn't remember.
Was that because of the mark?
Well, that's about all I can tell you. H-Vatic, we should get going soon.
Go? Where?
I'll tell you in the car. I'm real tired of standing. I'd like to sit for a bit.
There's no point in arguing. I'll just get it out of him once we're in the car. Who the fuck is she?
Nope, Mansion's out of the way.
Banshee clambers into the backseat of the car. His heavy scent fills the enclosed space.
I can finally catch my breath. Now then, driver, take us to the forest by H Castle.
Why? I drive down the familiar road. All lights along the way are strangely green. We reach our destination without me having to slow the car down once. The engine chugs along. I feel the wheels of fate turning like those on the car I'm riding in.
10 days ago, I promised, in exchange for you buying me an extra order of almond jelly, if you did forget everything, I'd take you to H-Shrine.
Sounds like I prepared for everything. But if I was that careful, why didn't I leave myself a clue? Why prepare if I was just going to forget? Did the curse progress faster than expected, so there wasn't time? Or did someone get rid of it? But if I had business at H-Shrine, why didn't I go there while I still had my memories?
Something about timing. Waiting for some magic summer cleaning to clear away impurity.
Suddenly, my old self echoes in my head. I speak the words out loud slowly as realization dawns. The summer purification rites. The rites held at the shrine to exorcise evil. On the last day of June, you pass through woven reeds to clean yourself. I was trying to use that ritual to exorcise the impurity.
Ah, gotcha. Luckily, today's the first day of July. So the rites or whatever are done. Should be no problem now.
Exorcise the impurity, huh? What kind of impurity was I trying to cleanse? The more I learn, the less I understand. My previous self is like a complete stranger to me. Maybe try and clean my mark? How many times have I come to this forest now? The creepy arch and the thick trees look the same as always.
You know where H-Shrine is, yeah? Lead the way.
You've never been there?
First I heard of it was 10 days ago.
Yeah. Bench and I push through the vegetation and make our way down the beast trail. We pass under the stone Torii gate. Looks the same as before. And the music. And finally arrive at the desolate H-Shrine. A few headless Buddha statues that are left shine in the light of the flashlight.
So the statues used in the project were stolen from here?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it really true the statues are connected to the mark somehow?
I've considered the possibility that the mark was caused by the divine wrath. But 10 days ago, you said what happened 50 years ago wasn't because of the project. It was all because of her. This course I've been following this whole time. Then at some point I must have been fed some huge lie. But what could it be? A shudder runs through me at the thought. It feels like I'm looking into the depths of hell right now.
You said 10 days ago that the altar holds something important. Something about needing to keep it here to exercise the impurity.
He approaches the small altar and puts his hand on the sliding door.
Huh? What's going on here? The thing's empty!
Don't ask me, bro. I was already gone when I was here earlier.
Well, that's darn weird. You said there was a cloth pouch.
What was inside?
A small, fist-sized statue. A Nejibutsu or something. It was the Go Shinto for the shrine. The Kujo head used it in the shelter to stop the mess 50 years ago.
And then again, it's the Kujo family. They must have some strong ties to the mark, boy.
Well, that's all I can do for you. At least it was enough to pay for the dessert. We should head back soon.
Alright. I'm so unsure about what my old self was thinking, but it's clear whatever plan I had didn't work. Where did the Nejibutsu go? I don't know, bro. Someone stole it. On the way back, I feel reluctant to go. I keep turning to look toward the shrine. Each time I do, Banshee hurries me on to the forest entrance.
Well, this is where we part ways, friend.
You're not going to ride back with me?
I'm going to be honest with you. I got a bit of car sick on the way here. Flat roads were fine, but the curves and hills did beat in. I just got a nice meal, and I'd hate to throw it up, so I'll walk back.
But it's pretty far from here, bro.
Kids are such wimps these days. When I was young, I used to walk across the Himalayas all the time. This ain't nothing. Ha 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 ha.
Well, fuck me. Fuck me and call me stale bread. His laugh is loud enough for the whole forest to hear. He waves and leaves me alone. Once he's out of sight, I get into the car. I pull out of the deserted parking lot and drive toward the mansion. As I count the streetlight passing by, I go over everything Banshee told me. 50 years ago in the shelter, the Canaan soldier went berserk, but it wasn't because of the army's experiments, it was her. The army was unable to stand up to the threat of her and the soldier, but the Kujo family had used a ninjutsu to settle everything. However, she still exists in this time period. She was the one who gave me the mark. Before I lost my memories, I was planning on using the ninjutsu just like they did before. I left it at the H-shrine so it could be cleansed of its impurity, but somewhere along the line it went missing. The past me probably couldn't have predicted that it would happen. Idiot past me. I'm almost back at the Kujo mansion. As my drive comes to an end, I focus on what the most important detail is. Who is her, right? Yeah, who is she, bro? I have a hunch about her identity, but I can't be sure yet. Yeah, it might be Mary. But Mary's dead. Or maybe she isn't. I think it's Mary though, because that cushion is what really ticked me off to maybe who Mary is. And it definitely proves that she was there. 50 years ago, she made the Cannon soldier move down into the shelter. The Kujo family's had sealed her. They would have brought her to the mansion. The sacred objects of the project, of which she was one, was returned. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. If there was any way to defeat her, it just has to be in the mansion. I don't have any solid proof, but fragments of my memories are whispering to me. The entrance doesn't look any different. My mark burns. The sharp pain nearly brings me to my knees. Seems she has no intention of hiding her presence any longer. Hi, Mary. It was a pretty good little trick you did there, pretending to be dead and shit. Mashta. So we meet again. Mary's voice is soft. I know now. Behind those words is hidden an intense lust for blood. It was a good little act there. You came back to life rather quickly. You gave me nearly a whole day. More than enough time. I admit that rabbit's attack surprised me. Oh. The rabbit was like, fuck you, bitch! And the mirror was like, no, fuck you, bitch. But unexpected events that can themselves be rather enjoyable. When I brought Mary to H-shrine, we caught sight of the rabbit there. It might have suspected Mary's true nature. That rabbit, its great love for you pushed it into recklessness. What was that rabbit really? Determine that for yourself. Who are you? Bitch, you know I still don't remember! Know that. Was it Saya, maybe? I don't know. That's just a guess, because Maya died and then she reincarnates and was like, hey, I'm gonna help you. Know that, and the answer will come. Though it is impossible, so long as you bear the mark I gave you. Mary gave me the mark. I had a hunch, but hearing it from her lips fills me with dread. Just what are you trying to accomplish? dragging the living to the depths of despair before killing them. I believe I explained that as a spirit's utmost desire and joy, and I had your cooperation with achieving that. Joke's on you, bitch! I saved like 90% of the people. The only one I lost was Mashida. Poor Mashida. Cooperate, that's ridiculous. Oh? Have you not realized yet? You did bring those pathetic mark bearers drunk into the spirits, did you not? But I didn't kill them! Besides Mashida. No, that's a cool picture. They feared their experienced existence, trembled in the face of death, the brief joy of their survival, only to be crushed like miserable ants. I savored the taste of that fear and despair. Most delicious. You had all of us help out, just to terrify the mark bearers even more? Clearly. I could have waited for the curses to complete if I only wanted them dead. That is not the only lie. Mark bearers must stay in small groups. Do not contact outsiders. All my instructions were to drive you into a state of emergency. And not once did you doubt me. Okay, well, you got me there, bitch. I bet she's telling me all of this because she wants me terrified with how helpless this situation I found myself in. I'm frozen in place and know my face must be pale as death. She must be loving this. Don't tell me you created all those spirits just to accomplish that. Indeed, when Lady Christie believed Divine Wrath was the cause of the mark, I had never been more amused. Her foolishness was so delightful, I just had to come along with you. So you lied? Of course. How could a pile of broken statues possibly do anything? I could be imagining it, but I feel like she hesitated for a moment there. 50 years ago, I was sealed away by the head of the Cujo family. I awoke here 5 years ago. At the time, I was still unable to speak and communicate. But it seems my awakening alone caused a number of ripples. Those who died unfortunate deaths on cursed land became monstrous spirits. The H elementary abuse, the honeybee's mass suicide, Psycho's assault and suicide, they all happened 5 years ago. I finally regained my full power a little over a month ago. Then, the Buddha statues connected to me 50 years ago began moving. The woman killed by the statue was also influenced by my power. That must be the Kana soldier in Tsukawa. Tsukawa believed it was divine oracle from the soldier, when it had really been Mary. She did as the great Asura said and transformed herself into Mizu. Once my strength returned, I again bestowed my power onto spirits. It connects humans to me and manipulates them into a panic. The mark. I know you've been toying with us, but well, was there really need to make us be connected to you in some way? Of course. By being in direct contact with you, I could taste your fear. Even now, are you scared of me, Lord H-Vatic? No. Very admirable. Uh-oh. Her porcelain face cracks. Oh boy. The music stopped. That's not good. Ever since you declared that you would fight the mark, I have waited eagerly for this day. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Over the past 10 days, I have tasted your fear through the mark. Thick and syrupy, as sweet as honey. Each savored morsel made me want to smash you to pieces. But I waited. I am not so foolish as to kill a goose that lays golden eggs. Oh boy. But I cannot take it anymore. like crushing a ripe fruit and sipping its juices. I want to break you down and savor your sweet fear. Oh, hell no. Oh, boy. Fuck. The mark is dyed a deep crimson. A few minutes were left until death closes in. My thoughts blur together suddenly. What happens to a mark bear right before I dawn? I've seen it many times. Is that what's happening to me right now? Lord H. Faddick, wait for me! I'll kill! I hear Mary stand up over by the sofa. At this rate, the rabbit's fate will be mine too. I have to run away. Check within the red in my room. Something whispers in my ear. That's right, that voice. But what does my room mean? Focus. Who does that voice belong to? Yusoka? She said it was someone who loved me. Oh boy. Live or die. Possibly for the last time. Mary is coming closer. Where should I run? Oh shit. My room. That's what I said to run to. I sprint at full speed up the stairs and fly into my own room. Much like the entrance hall, it's dark. The voice said, check within the red in my room. There's something there? Desk, bed, carpet. I search everywhere, but I can't find. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh, what the fuck? I have multiple marks. My mark starts burning me painfully. I blank out. Uh-oh. Lord H. Faddick! So, this is where you've been! Mary's here. I need to close the door. Oh, what the back? I found you! Mary closes her hands around my neck. She's trying to kill me. I'm dead. We're safe! Much like the entrance hall is dark, the voice said check within the red. Is something there? But where should I look? Ah, fuck. The red. Desk. The floor! Because it's red! Yes! Sayakucho's bloodstain is still on the floor. It's obviously dry by this point in time. There might be something lying on top of it. I can't be sure, it's too dark. Nothing was there the last time I was here. Picking it up, I discover that it's a small pouch. And inside is a hard, thin object. I move over to the moonlight to see a bit better. It's the Nejibuchi? It's the Nejibuchi, but it's still fucked up! Look at it! It's a small Buddha statue. It can't be. Is this the Nejibuchi? It seems to be stained with blood, and I get an arm. Yeah, it wasn't cleansed, bro. We're fucked. Yeah, the impurity. It hasn't been exorcised yet. I instinctively know the instant I see it. My mind is suddenly flooded with all of my memories of the Nejibuchi, one after another. 50 years ago, the head of the Kujo family used this to steal Mary's power. He put the Nejibuchi inside her to seal her. And then, about a month ago, someone took it out. That person was me. Because of that, Mary regained her power. The Nejibuchi in my hand looks exactly as it did back then, full of impurity. Impurity that's built from sealing Mary's power for 50 years. To cleanse it, I left the Nejibuchi at the uncontaminated 8th shrine. It would take time to exorcise all the impurity. It's already July. The summer purification rite is over. So why is it still impure? The object the rabbit had in its mouth. It could have been carrying the pouch then instead of the master key. Then the Nejibuchi was taken away from H-Shrine before the beginning of July. Maybe the rabbit saw Mary by the shrine and was scared she would find it. So I had no choice but to steal it away. Uh-oh. The door to the adjacent room opens. Mary must be looking for me, but she can sense the presence of mark bearers. What's going on? Wait, is it possible that Saya's blood is protecting me? Bring it to where I'm at my end. The voice whispers in my ear again. If this isn't where the voice's owner died, they must have met their end some elsewhere. So it isn't Saya. There's only one other place. While Mary's in the room next door, I sprint down the entrance hall. I make a beeline for Mary's sofa into the spot where the rabbit died. The voice that spoke to me and helped me every time a spirit was closing in. If Saya was working through anything, it must have been that rabbit. Sensing something, I look down on my hand. It's clean. It's gone. Its impurity is gone. This is what you've been telling me, Saya? I speak to the departed woman who's guided me as I struggled without memories. Put the Nejibuchi at the source of the doll's curse. Press it to the black mark. Then the whispers finally stop. The floorboards creak ominously. I raise my head to the staircase rising in the darkness before me. Oh boy. A dark figure stands on the landing. I found you! The mark scorches me. My head goes blank. Mary's coming closer. My body won't listen to me. Oh dear Jesus. Lord H-Matic! Mary closes her hands around my neck. She's trying to kill me. I squeeze the Nejibuchi and the fog that's impending my thoughts lift. It's still a struggle to think. I should be able to move my arm now. Put the Nejibuchi on the source of the curse. I only have one chance. Where should I stick it? On the mark. Her left arm. There it is, coach. I managed to drag my impossibly heavy arm and stick the Nejibuchi on Mary's left arm. Uh-oh. Fuck. Oh, hey Mary. Die! Fuck. Wrong arm. Wrong arm! My bad. It was the right arm. Oh, really? Eh, fuck. I managed to drag my impossibly heavy arm and stick the Nejibuchi on Mary's right arm. She's hiding it. But I'm sure that's where the black mark was. Marks boom on Mary, one after another. They're all the color of blood. Inside there are the curses of those she killed. Bye bye, bitch. Let's go! Rest in peace, Mary. Mary shatters in the dust. Did I really do it? I hesitantly look down on my right arm. Ah, the mark is finally gone. I did it? I finally did it. I have to say it out loud to convince myself. A victory at the expense of Saya and the mark bearers' lives. I can't claim it's all over, but there's no harm being relieved for once. The fog clouding my head clears away. My memories slowly return to me. I look around the dimly lit hall again. I know this mansion well, because I'm... The clock on the second floor begins chiming wildly like it did 10 days ago. When I make my way to it, it stops, almost as if it's had a will of its own. That's right, this grandfather clock. I think a skilled ancestor of the Kujo family crafted it. That one chisel may have been used to make it. That's right, inside this clock. I open the door and stick my hand inside. My fingers brush something hard. Taking it out, I realize it's a voice recorder. I press the play button. This on? This is Masamune Kujo. It's a man's voice. A voice I know all too well. It's my voice. I decided to leave this record behind in case something should happen. That doll may dispose of any files or documents. I'm banking on her overlooking a piece of technology. As I listen, I start to remember recording this. I'd done it right before I received the mark from Mary. Now, where should I begin? It started 5 years ago, 2 years ago after I became Kujo family head. My sister Saya and I found the doll in a wooden box while sorting the warehouse. The moment I broke the seal and saw her, I could sense something sinister. But it took a while longer to fully understand what she truly is. If only there had been records. But great-grandfather, who sealed her, didn't leave any before his early death. Because of that, his descendants weren't told about the doll. I managed to learn the doll had been loaned to an army lab during the war. A strange old man who lived in an underground shelter told me. I then went overseas to try and get more information on the doll. But I got into an accident while away and was presumed missing. So Saya became the new family head. I was unable to contact her until after she inherited the title. It wasn't something worth contesting, so I explained everything and had her keep up the facade that I was missing. Public records still stated Masayune Kujo was very much alive, of course. I couldn't have used my passport or license otherwise. I'm off topic, sorry. I only just returned to the country last week. Other psychics abroad all agreed it was bad to leave the doll be. A Nejibutsu inside the doll should have suppressed its cursed power, but I realized that it was almost at its limit. If I left it alone, it would crumble, and then it would be impossible to suppress the cursed power of the doll. That's the worst case scenario. But what was to be done? The answer I came up with was to remove the Nejibutsu from the doll, temporarily. Its impurity would be cleansed after a month stored in a pure area, and then I'll place it back in the doll. If I succeed, the doll's power will be sealed for a few more decades. But the problem is that 1 month. I have no idea what kind of curse will be released when the doll's unsealed. I'll do what I can to prevent disasters, but my power can't compare to the Nejibutsu. I can't guarantee anything. There may be victims again, like the tragedy 50 years ago. This is a necessary evil. It must be done in order to prevent even more people from falling victim. After this, I'll disassemble the doll and remove the Nechibutsu. I'll pray everything goes according to plan and the worst of evils is avoided. I hope this record isn't needed. But, if the one listening to this has a loved one who's fallen victim to the curse, then I'm very sorry. The recordings end there. Damn it. I clenched my fist so hard my nails dug into my palm. Yes, the voice on the tape was mine, but I'm furious with it. I don't know that person at all. The mark had claimed so many victims over the past month, like the mark bearers. I even lost my little sister, Saya. Was she just another inevitable victim that the voice spoke of? It had to be done, though. It's a hard fucking pill to swallow, bro. That is a extremely hard pill to swallow. That's gonna take a while to swallow, really, but it had to be done, bro. Because if that motherfucker, if that Nechibutsu would have crumbled into pieces, Mary would have gotten free reign. It's gonna be a very hard pill to swallow. It had to be done. I'm Martini H. Paddock. God, that is such a trash name. But I'm also Masamune Kujo. I understand why he felt as if he had to do that. It was his fate. The Kujo family are forever linked to that fucking doll. It's the end of chapter 5, which I'm assuming is also the end of the game. Two months have passed. The occasional cool breeze signals that summer is almost over. I spent my time putting the case to the mark to rest as best as I can. I put Saya to rest by burying the rabbit and contacted the surviving mark bearers. Putting the Buddha statues in place of honor was also one of those tasks. They weren't connected to the mark after all, but I couldn't just leave them there. Plus, there was no way Christy'd keep quiet about the statues. With her guidance and Yusoka Daimon and Banshee's help, I carried the broken statues out of the shelter and returned them to H Shrine. By now, my memory has completely returned. Things didn't go quite as originally planned, but at least the danger has passed. I don't think my decision as Masamune Kujo was wrong. But, at times, waves of powerlessness and despondency overwhelm me. When I think of the mark's victims, of Saya and the mark bearers, my chest hurts. I want to do something for them as the new head of the Kujo family. So here's $1 million about the memories I've regained. I became the Kujo family head 7 years ago. I'll admit I was a bit of a recluse. I left the public appearances to Saya, preferring to stay out of the spotlight. The only photos from me are from small local papers. I uncovered Mary by accident in the family's warehouse 5 years ago. It was a discovery that changed my life. I traveled extensively abroad in order to learn more about Mary. In one country, I got into an accident and fell into a coma for half a year. Even worse, that country proceeded to treat me as an unidentified traveler. I don't know if it was merely my terrible luck, or if Mary's curse had something to do with it. When I was finally able to contact home, yeah, we know, the rest was as the tape said. I had no idea that Mary's power was far greater than I had imagined. All my efforts to suppress her power were completely useless. The memories unraveled faster than I thought. How did Mary become to be in the first place? One theory says a doll maker in the 19th century used magic to create her. Another says the spirit of a young girl who died prematurely took up residence in her. In the end, it's still a mystery. No one knows what happened to create a doll like that. We only know that each of Mary's owners died tragic deaths. Shortly after the turn of the 20th century, she became to be owned by the head of the Kujos. He didn't either know the curse or simply didn't believe it. Disaster began befalling the family. Mary gained enough power to become sentient and produce spirits. Then the tragedy in the shelter happened. The seething grudges of the experiment's victims and the Buddha statues, they may have triggered her awakening. Whatever Mary's true identity is, the fact remains she authored many people's fates. Mine and the mark bearers included. Speaking of, an update on the surviving mark bearers. Oh boy. Let's get it. Mo Watanabe became a part-time writer for her favorite magazine, Oop Arts Monthly. She sometimes comes to Kujo Mansion to interview me about spirits and ghosts. Awesome. Tsukasa Yoshida is studying every day for the middle school exams next year. He bragged in his letter to me about how well he did in the national mock tests. Good for him. Next, Sho Nagashimi is picking fights, riding his bike, and doing whatever he wants, as usual. But he recently, out of the blue, I heard he's studying to become a police officer. Christy Arimura has started writing an essay exposing all of her past affairs. But the contents are so scandalous no one wants to publish it. I heard her complaints over it the other day. Jesus, lady. Keep it in your pants. Notice how we skipped over Mashina because he's dead. Suzu Moyayami was able to see her father. Lately she started asking me for advice about how to get her parents to reconcile. I have no idea if I helped at all, but she says they sometimes have meals together now. That's nice. Ita has gone back to surfing the BBS every day as usual. But what's new is he's been stopping by the city employment center. I guess he wants to get a steady job and be a role model for Suzu. Best of luck to him. A day doesn't go by that I don't see Ai Kishiwagi on TV as part of Love and Hero. She sent a ticket like she promised, but I need to drum up some courage to go to a concert for teens. Alone. At my age. Yusoka is still working as a fortune teller in Ginza. Apparently she believes I have spiritual powers or something. She keeps sending customers with spirit problems to the mansion. I'd wish she'd frickin' stop. Haru spends her day working as a researcher while also visiting the shelter. Her and Banshee squabble a lot, but I wish she'd stop her complaining to me about it. Daimon seems to be doing better now, like a weight's been lifted off his chest. He's in the process of convincing officials to publicize the shelter and build a memorial for it. Banshee has returned to his beloved underground shelter. He stops by the mansion sometimes, filling the place with his scent. Of course, he comes to beg me for food. Yeah, that's Banshee for you. All the mark bearers who became victims, all for the sake of the terror Mary sought. Whenever I remember them, my chest aches and I can't help but think, is it possible? Do they bear a dark grudge against me so we're surviving? I'm so sorry. How many times have I remembered that useless and meaningless apology? But I became more determined each time. All I can do now is make sure that the tragedy never happens again. For that, I need to hurry my preparations for putting the Nejibutsu inside Mary. The Nejibutsu alone won't be enough to continue stealing her powers in the years to come. I must prepare extra spiritual means. It's taken a long time to get those ready, but today I've finally finished. Did the mansion just lose power? What's going on? What is this feeling? My arm is burning. Oh, for the love of fuck. Why is the mark... What's happening? Calm down. I need to calm down. First, I need to get a grasp of my situation. That's how I've survived this long. A horribly familiar noise echoes in the hall. I better not fucking die. Bruh, I got the bad end. Bruh. Oh my god, really? I'm gonna take it because I don't want to replay it. I mean, I had a lot of fun. This game was a lot of fun. Fuck, bro. I know why, too, bro. It's because I didn't fucking help out Fatty back in chapter 2 or 3. And fuck. That really does piss me off, bro. Whatever. This will be the end of Deathmark. There is another game called NG Spirit Hunter created by this game. I will 1000% playing that. Very upset that I didn't get the good ending though. I'm guessing the good ending is that you seal away Mary. But in my mind, I'm still gonna say I defeated Mary again, and I sealed her away. That's gonna be my mind. I'm not replaying this game. It was a lot of fun, but I'm not replaying the entire game just to get the good ending. But thank you for watching. Let's get right on to the next game.